right, Maulik. How are you?
I'm great, Akash. How are you?
Doing great, man. Welcome to the first ever episode. I don't know, I haven't named the show yet, but welcome to the first ever episode. I wanted to do it with you because we've been friends for so long and I'm very comfortable talking to you. And I already know your journey, you've been through to become like a developer and PR. So I wanted other people to know about your struggles and what they can learn from it.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah, alrighty. So let's get started. Why don't you tell the people who are listening about yourself, about your journey to Canada and beyond?
Um, my journey to Canada. I came way back in 2014, so it's been like what? We're talking 8 years now, and I came not knowing what I wanted to do. So I didn't know that I want to be in software engineering, doing front end, and it was not anything related to what I was doing back home in Uganda. So, but yeah, nonetheless, I came here, studied at Sentinel College, and I am now working as a front end developer, and I'm enjoying it.
Awesome, man. So you didn't come to Canada specifically to study software engineering, right?
No. I
So
came to
then
Canada.
how?
I came to Canada to study software engineering, but that's not what I thought I would be doing when I applied to come to Canada. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Is there any specific reason why did you pick software engineering over other programs?
Okay, let's rewind back. When I was looking at courses to do on the Centennial College website, I was interested. I saw courses that interested me by their title,
Yeah.
like car maker, car body makers, aviation, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I want to do something like this. But then I wasn't. I didn't. My full heart wasn't on that. I'm like, you know what? I don't have any experience doing that. But at that time in Uganda, I was doing a course in IT. It was regarding Oracle database.
Okay.
Again, I didn't know much about IT. All I knew about that was through that course. But I had to leave it halfway because I was coming to Canada. So in the process of doing that, I'm like, what course can I do in Canada?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's complete what I started in Uganda in Canada.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, then I picked something close to something close to Oracle database that I'll be doing.
Yeah.
So software engineering was something that came to mind. I saw the course, I saw the outline. It had database, it had web development, it had name it, networking. So I'm like, you know what, let's do this, and yeah, we shall get into the specifics later. I didn't know what the job market was. I didn't do basically any research that I would recommend somebody right now to do. Like, yeah, so.
I see. Got it. So once you arrived in Canada, you started your program in software engineering. Did you back then had any goals in mind that okay, after you finish your program you want to work for this company or maybe work as this role? Or
That's the thing I didn't know. I didn't know what software engineering careers are out there. Is it I can do front end that I'm doing right now? I can do back end. I can do database administration. I can do game development. I didn't know all this until I finished my course. Not even during my course, until I finished it.
I see.
Then I started being like, okay, what can I do with what I learned? So then that path led me to, okay, I can do front end development. But they didn't teach me front end proper front-end development in college. So I had to now
I see.
study it by
Got it.
myself and then spend some more time there. And yeah,
Yeah.
experience was another thing. So getting a job in Canada without experience, that's a whole other struggle.
Yeah, I see. I've heard a lot from a lot of developers about this. Like college or university did not teach them the skills needed for the job market.
Yeah,
Is
they
that the
teach you
same issue that you faced?
uh, yes, they teach you the broader scale. Like software engineering, they teach you everything and anything. They'll teach you back end, they'll teach you front end, a little bit of both. But they don't tell you, hey, if you learn this, or if you aspire to be a front end developer, make sure you focus in this subject or learn this. And because of our course outline, we cannot teach this subject. So go on your own and learn this. They don't tell you that. You have to figure it out on your
But
own.
also one thing, do colleges teach like the latest framework? So you being a front-end developer, I'm sure you have used React,
Yes.
JS and all that. So do colleges teach React JS, or your college specifically, Centennial College taught React JS in college or no?
No React, nothing. I'm sure React was out there by then, but I did not even hear it after. As I mentioned, I started doing my own study and research. So that's what I'm saying. Like they don't mention that, hey, because the college outline does not include React, but it's important for you to learn to get a job. Go learn it on your own. They don't even mention that. So you have to basically talk to colleagues and make sure you know that on your own.
Great. Okay. So now that you have finished your program successfully in software, and now you've been working as a front-end developer for quite a while, do you think that in like today's time, a degree is relevant to work in IT department, like to work as basically front end, back end, database administrator, whatever, as in those fields? Do you think degree is required? Does it help in any form?
To get started in the coding field, IT field, I wouldn't say it's required. But if you want to get in like leadership roles, then companies will ask for it. So yeah, you need a formal education to get into those roles. But as a front-end developer, back-end developer, like just to get into the industry, I don't think you need it. But it doesn't hurt to have one, I mean. No?
Oh, okay. So you don't need a degree to get in the field, to start working as a developer, software developer. But let's say when you want to become a software, like engineering manager or CTO of some company, they will ask you for the degree.
Yeah,
Okay.
they will ask you. You might not see the value in it, but they will ask you. Like it might be company policy or whatever it is, you can call it. But I see a lot of companies asking for that. Yeah, but I am a prime example. You yourself are a prime example of not having a degree, but having a good job, in the front-end world. So
yeah. Well, so I've also seen a lot of front-end developers or web developers getting overwhelmed sometimes being in the field because there is so much to learn. Like every other week, there is new technology, new framework
yeah,
you have to learn. So how you personally keep up with the field, and how you make sure that you are up to date in your field?
I try to learn. I try to go back to the basics and just learn what has brought me this far again, right? Like brush up that, polish that, because I'm pretty sure I missed something back then, and now I will understand it better. So I go understand that, I go learn that, and yeah, as you mentioned, there is a lot of stuff to learn. So keep it to a minimal. Like if you're doing front end, then pick your stack, they say, right? So just pick your core languages or technologies you want to learn and go down that path. You want to explore? Yes, go explore some other framework. Don't go too deep unless you want to work in that framework.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll get yourself confused. You'll want to know everything, all the frameworks, which is not realistic and practical. So I would say learn your stack and just go down that road.
Yeah, I also, like, me being a developer as well, I also personally like suggest not trying to keep up with everything that gets released and just sticking to one stack and make sure you are the best at it. Like,
And
for me personally,
a lot of it is trendy
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
So it's just
I see.
trends. It's new, hot in the market, so people are picking it up,
Yeah.
building cool stuff, and then
Yeah.
you feel like, oh, I should also use it, and I should also learn it. I
Yeah.
should also know it. But who is
Yeah.
going to give you a job with that? You knowing that
I see.
it's still new
So
in
I
the
think
market.
instead of going after what's trendy, you should see what job market is looking for, and then learn that.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, got it. Awesome. So okay, let's move forward. So once you graduated from college, you started working as a front-end developer. Being in Canada, what was the next step for you? Like, you now you got your permanent residency and everything. So what is the process to that? You don't have a degree, but you graduated from Centennial in associate degree. Was it hard for you to get your permanent residency, and what is the process like there?
Yeah, definitely. Without a degree, it was hard for me. Mainly because it's a point system to get
Yeah.
permanent to be even considered qualified in the pool to become a permanent resident. So I was missing points in that degree section, but there is other ways to cover up those points. So your English exam is one that you need to ace if you don't have a degree to make up for those points. So yeah, English, your job experience matters. What else? I'd say those are the main things. Age, but it's not a big factor, I'd say, as long as you're in your
Just
early adulthood.
Yeah, just coming back to the front-end development part, I forgot to ask you one really important question, which is for new front-end developers, people who are just graduated from college or who want to become front-end developer, how can they make sure they are job ready, and can you give some tips on how they can find the job? You've been through the journey, like, what are there any things they can take care of, like update their LinkedIn, whatever? Are there any tips you can give the audience to tell them these, if you follow these steps, the chances of you getting the job will be much higher?
Absolutely. First of all, research the job market, because that's something I didn't do. And
Like research about what technologies?
Not even technology. Go on LinkedIn Jobs or go on Indeed. Look up front-end developer. See how many jobs are in your area. Is there enough jobs for you to even be considered? Because think about it, you're just starting out, right? If there is only 50 jobs in your area for front-end developer, you're gonna have to be really good at what you're doing for you to be considered in that job. But if there's 6,000 jobs as a front-end developer, you can get into a job just doing the basic stuff. So yeah, that's what I mean by do your research. What technologies the company is using, like make notes, like HTML,
Yeah.
CSS, JavaScript. All companies use that. What else can I add to my arsenal to make me a better candidate? React, jQuery, database
Yeah.
administration, so all that stuff. Make sure to write down some notes, and then
Yeah.
go study that, and then
I see.
make yourself some websites or applications. Put them on your resume, portfolio, video portfolio, and yeah, you slowly start seeing results, and yeah, just
Okay.
pushing through.
So for someone like who is newly graduated, but I've seen companies mostly look for like experience in the field. For someone who does not have experience and is just graduated from college or wants to become a front end developer and have learned the technologies on their own from in the internet and stuff, what can they do, or what projects can they build to show off their skills? Is having a portfolio important as a front end developer? Having some projects under your belt important, like personal projects?
Yes, personal portfolio 100%, because that will show the person who is going to hire you that you can build a website. And putting your projects onto that personal portfolio shows you are doing work
Yeah.
outside of that, outside of your regular day-to-day activities. And how can you build your portfolio? Go to mom and pop shops, for example. Somebody who is running a family business, tell them I'll build your website for free, or I'll charge you $100, whatever it is. Charity work you can do, and build them something you can, it will be a real experience. It will be a real project that you're building for somebody, not just a project for the sake of putting it on your resume. But then there's other cool and fun projects that you can build on your own, and you can just get by.
So having portfolio basically increases your like credibility as a developer.
100%.
Let other people know. So, and do you think it's important for developers or programmers in the field to be active on social media, basically posting about the things they are learning, and what their plans for future are, like if they're switching to back end development from front end? Do you think it's important for them to post on platforms like LinkedIn? The recruiters are there, so they see that this person is making progress.
I would leave that up to them, because me personally, I don't post on social media per se, but updating your profile, if that's what you mean, then yes, like absolutely do that. If you're switching, if you're learning something new, update your LinkedIn where recruiters are watching you, so they know that okay, if a job comes up for Angular, this person is learning Angular right now. In the past, I have hired him, and he has been a good candidate. So I'll keep an eye on him. He's a good developer. So things like that.
I see.
So it'll keep you updated and the recruiter updated.
Got it. And one more, like, what's the average salary for a front-end developer starting in the field in Canada?
I was just Googling that, I think a week or two ago. It was like 80,000, 90,000.
That's average?
Average.
Oh,
on the low end, it would be 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Low end,
so anyone who is
60,
starting, you can get 50 to 60.
50 to 60 easy. Email developer,
Nice.
HTML developer, that you can do that.
And are there other sources, like for example, let's say I get a job as a front-end developer, I have my full-time income, but are there other ways that developers can make money outside of their full-time jobs? Like
Freelance.
what are the top? Oh, okay.
Freelance can be a good good one to lean on. But I'll say
Yeah.
to consider freelance, have experience from a job. So because freelance, we think it's just in the beginning I thought it was just coding.
Yeah.
We go build a website and whatnot, but it's more than just that. It's the way you interact with your clients, knowing what the client exactly wants, and not delivering something other than what the client wants. Those things, like it's so, as I said, it's a lot more than coding involved. Interacting, those soft skills is what is going to come and play, and you will
Yeah.
get that while you're working at a job with your teammates. So your teammates will be your clients, right? You
Yeah.
won't have a client per se, but it's your teammates, your manager, your boss. Those are your clients. Those are people who you're delivering to.
Okay,
So,
I
yeah.
see. And what are the possibly best ways to find these freelancing clients other than your teammates, obviously?
Word of mouth is a big one. Like, just tell your friends and family, hey, this is what I'm doing, and spread the word.
Okay.
Going on Google and searching it up. Freelance. There's a lot of freelance websites that you can go on. Upwork, Fiverr, sites like that can help you get clients. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, let's move forward and move on to the other thing that you're really interested in, which is trading, stock trading, right? So can you tell us about how you got started in that, and why do you like it, and how do you manage your time between the two?
How I got into it, I think this was like 2 years ago. Pandemic, you can say the pandemic hype that brought all the traders, all the non-traders into trading, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can say that, but for me it goes way before that. It was just I was interested in doing something else other than coding, and I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to make money. That's the simple rule that I started with. I'm like, okay, I need to make money. I want to make money. Other than coding, what can I do? So I'm like, okay, trading. I had no idea how to trade. I had no idea stocks existed until I came to Canada. And I put it off for like a long time, I would say. When I was working with you, actually, like we used to talk about it, I remember. But since then, I have been putting it on off for 2 years. And then the pandemic hit, and I saw opportunity working from home. You have spare time. And yeah, I just met the right people, I would say, and I got started. So that environment was created, basically. So that was important, and I got started.
I've seen a lot of people saying that stock market is like a gamble, or it's very risky. No one should do it. Do you agree with this notion, or no?
It is. I mean, I agree with what they're saying. It is risky.
Yeah.
It's a gamble if the way you invest your money in, or like the way you go about it, it can be a gamble. Like so, it's risky, but there is everything in life is a risk, right? Like there is a risk and there's a reward to it as well. Like you do your you do your course, you go to college. What assurance do you have you're gonna get a job, right? So I mean, that's the risk people don't see, but because it's good, because we know it's ingrained in us that going to college is a good thing.
Yeah.
But not knowing that if you going to college doesn't mean you are going to get a job. That's
that is a very, very good example, man. So
so
people also invest a big chunk of money in their education, getting a degree and stuff, but not sure about
yeah,
if they will get a job. Degree does not ensures that you will get a job.
yeah. So
But then, yeah,
that's the risk
okay,
I see there, and they
cool.
as I said, it's a risk and reward thing. So
I see. So do these two things, programming and trading, complement each other? Like, has programming helped you in trading in any way?
um, sorry, repeat that.
So I was asking, do programming and trading complement each other? Like, does this help you learn trading faster? Like, you're being a programmer, does it help you to learn trading faster?
I still haven't found that intersect. I would say like this is because of coding, trading
Yeah.
is dash. Like it's easy, it's hard, it's whatever it is. I still haven't found that, but I would say for what I know is that coding is more like a science, like computer science, right? It's more like a science. You need to know what is happening behind the scenes and all that stuff. But then
Yeah.
when you take it to trading side, it's it's technical. The way I trade it, there's a lot of ways to trade. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but it's an art basically. The way you just pick pen and start drawing stuff. It's an art, right? So you don't need to know like the science the way you need to know it in computer. Like yeah, I don't think I'm explaining that right, but yeah, it's more like an art, and you need to. And how do you get better at art? You keep doing it every day. You draw the same thing until picture 1 and picture 100 is very different, right? Picture 1 is going to be horrible, picture 100 is going to be amazing, right? So you keep doing that same thing on one piece and you get better.
Okay, how long have you been doing trading for? 2 years, you said?
So I have been doing trading for 2 years. I've been involved in for 2 years, but I haven't been trading for 2 years per se. So
Okay.
it's been an on and off. So yeah, I'm yet to like find my groove and do it consistently and the way I want it to be
Yeah,
done. And yeah, it's a struggle, of course.
of course. I see a lot of books in the background. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
do you
oh yeah.
read a lot of books?
That I aim to read a lot of books. I like I'm learning how to manage my time still. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'm trying to get better. Like yeah, but to your question, do I read a lot of books? I do like reading books. In fact, I any book that I see, I just and I like it, I would go buy it. I don't know when I would read it. There are some books on my shelf I haven't even opened, but I have just because I have heard about the book. I like the book. I just buy it. I'll get to it whenever I get to it. But at least I know, like it is easier for me to just see a book and pick it up and start reading than me thinking of the book and then thinking
Yeah.
about going to purchase it and then reading it, right? Like I have eliminated so many steps just by having the book here. So
That's exactly what I do as well. Like, I've seen a lot of people, they want to finish the book. I think people should not focus on finishing the book.
yes,
You buy the book, you read it, whatever interest you, read it, and then if you find it boring, just move on to the next book, man. And just have a lot of books with you so you can keep switching between different books, get whatever important ideas, and keep a log of the information that you are learning from the books. Because I feel like knowledge not being used is useless. Because if you are learning something and then you are not using or helping people or the world in any way is pointless. Like there's no point of reading books if you are not gonna apply that knowledge anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's important to not focus on finishing the book, but just getting the main ideas and making. And I feel like you should read book more than once. You should read it 2-3 times
Absolutely.
till you
Yeah.
get the hang of it, like what the author is trying to explain. I remember I was learning about personal finance and stuff, and I came across this book, Richest Man in Babylon. I was telling you about it. This is The Richest Man in Babylon is probably the best book I've read on personal finance.
Why is that?
And why the reason is the way the author approaches personal finance. He introduced personal finance by telling a story. In the whole book is just one story. So like how this man, there were 3 men who were students. They used to go to the same school and everything, and then 2 of them ended up being poor and 1 of them ended up being really rich. So then those 2 friends approaches that friend who is rich and will ask him, like they asked him in the book, that okay, why did you end up rich and we end up poor? And we went to the same school, studied by the same teacher and everything, right? And then the book moves forward. That rich friend is telling the other 2 friends what are the lessons, what are the things that he did, everything. So the whole book is a story. It's really interesting.
Okay.
And then one technique that I found is really helpful is, so I was reading the book, but I was also listening to the book at the same time.
Okay.
Like for example, I'll read something in the morning, and then whenever I have to go outside somewhere, let's say to work, if I have to travel to work, which is like 45 minutes it takes for me to travel, I listen to that book on Audible or something.
You listen,
So,
and then you go back and read that chapter.
I go back, I
Okay.
read, I listen, read, listen,
Okay.
keep doing both things till fucking those ideas are like instilled in my brain, what they are trying to do, what they are trying to say, author is trying to say. So that has really helped me retain all that information.
Okay. And you would say that's your
Yeah.
favorite book you have read so far, or is there
On
another?
personal finance, yes.
What about in general?
Okay, not the contents maybe, but the way. No, I love the contents too, but the way that author has approached the book, like the storytelling part of it, is really interesting.
Okay.
Like I don't remember any book that I've read so far, like walking the user through the book in such a way. Like you're just basically reading through a story, and then you remember everything because it's a story. Like you remember every part of a 2.5 hour movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because it's a story. So the exact same way, you remember the content of that book because it's a story.
Yeah.
That's why. Other than that, I really like. I've been reading Atomic Habits now.
Oh yeah, that's another good
Yeah.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good book on habits and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What are the other sources for you to gain like knowledge other than books? Do you listen to any specific like podcast and stuff?
Podcast. Let's rewind back. Remember when we're talking about the industry and how there's so many things out there. Same thing with personal development. There's a ton of stuff out there as well. So the way you keep it minimal, what do you like? Focus on that. But yeah, podcast, I do listen to it. Joe Rogan podcast is a great one. Tim Ferriss podcast, I've heard of it, but lately I haven't been listening to podcasts. Like, yeah, I don't have a reason for that, but been keeping it on the low.
Yeah, personal development is really like addictive, man. When I started getting into all that, I think it's good to a certain point, and then it gets toxic if you keep listening to the same talk. I think instead of just reading books on, let's say, find your why, those books are important, but I think people need to read books on the practical skills, like, and read books on the topics that'll help you immediately. Not don't read anything like random. For example, I was struggling with money, and I wanted to figure out a way how I can save. What are the things that I was doing wrong? So then I started reading about personal finance. I read Richest Man in Babylon, and then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I think I read Broke Millennials or something. And that's it. I read 2 or 3 books, and I learned a bunch of things from it, and then I applied it. And yeah, I think it's important
personal
to.
finance. I read Ramit Sethi's book.
Yeah,
How to.
I'll teach you to be
Yeah.
rich.
That was a good book. Like he
Yeah.
goes over everything. The title sounds sketch, like it sounds like a bait, but
Clickbait, yeah.
yeah, but it's a good book. I would recommend that one for sure.
Great. Alrighty. So what are your like plans for future, in terms of like what do you want to become in the field of programming or trading?
Trading is still very new to me, I would say. I'll give it another few years for me to figure out, build a good foundation for myself to start making big goals. But right now it's just being consistent, learning how to be consistent. That's the goal. How to do it consistently, successfully. There is going to be red days, there is going to be green days. So, but the point is to keep going for the long run. Same with programming. Keep learning from the front end part of it. But slowly, I want to move into back end. But I think there is a lot to still learn and how figure out in the front end side of things, like explore per se. So do that and then make the transition. Right now, I've been getting a lot of ideas of making moves in a sense. Do I want to become a backend developer? Now with the cloud being very accessible right now, cloud computing, do I want to go that route? Do I want to go into leadership roles? Like stuff like that. Like so, but I'm trying to keep myself grounded and make myself go back to what made me start in the first place. Like front end development is what I joined for. So let's become good at that. I want to become good at that before I may move into other fields. So I take the same energy and consistency everywhere I go. So that's the key.
Great. Alrighty, I think this is pretty much it. Thank you, man, for being on the show. I haven't named it yet, so I don't know what to call it.
Yes.
But this is the first episode. It was fun.
It was fun, absolutely.
Recording it with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, alrighty.
Thank you.
We'll do more such episodes in future.
100%.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Cool.
See you.
Let me stop.